Hello there, fans and frenemies, and welcome back to another speed paint. So today I'm doing Harley Quinn or Hyena Quinn. I don't know if there's a fun name, but like a couple of weeks ago, gosh, maybe even a month now, or maybe two at the time I'm posting this. Alphonse, who is my dear sweet boyfriend, brought over a new DC animated film, the Batman versus TMNT, TMNT versus Batman. And I had heard it was good, but I was blown away by how good it ended up being. It was hysterical and fun to watch, and the references were great. Like, it had a great like the balance of like cool serious moments or like genuine character moments and like just good humor and like reference humor was just really fantastic. Like, they really absolutely crushed it. They included Damien and really good Damien content with the pizza and the really good jokes about family stuff. I really couldn't get over, I kept saying it while we were watching it, how good oh my god, why am I forgetting her name? It's just Batgirl's. Her shoes just looked incredible. I couldn't get over how incredible her boots looked, like, in every shot. I know that's like a bizarre observation, but they really looked amazing. So there's a point in the movie, spoilers, where they get some good old TMNT goo in like Arkham Asylum, and TMNT goo turns anybody it touches into like a furry. Like, whatever animal lives within them immediately erupts forth and they become like a cool furry. And this was awesome. Like, it was a really cool thing to see, like, you know, like versions, like just TMNT-ified versions of like all these classic Batman villains. So like they had a bunch of them running around, and that was really fun. But definitely my favorite was as soon as I realized what was going on, I was sitting there going, oh my god, Harley has to be a hyena, Harley has to be a hyena, Harley has to be a hyena. And then she came out and she was a hyena and I was losing my mind. I was absolutely going ham. Like, yes, they did it! And she just looked so cool. Like, it was a great design. She was so fun. The movie itself was just incredible. There's this great bit where the Joker is like calling her, like, she's got the goo, and he's like, all right, you know, hello, nurse, please administer the medication. And then, like, she doesn't come over, and he's like, nurse, and then he's like, fine, Dr. Harley, and she's like, thank you, you know, like 8 years of med school, 6 years of whatever, and he says nurse, like, yeah, that's right, she's a psychiatrist, she has a degree. Like, I love it whenever anybody remembers that. Like, a very good joke. This is very good. She was fun. The hyena was a good reference too, because she used to have hyenas, and every once in a while she still does, but like, she was just fun. The animation on her was very fun. I don't think that Snake was a good pick for Joker. I'm not sure what I would have gone with, but the Snake, like, the weird teeth on him and then the arms, it just didn't look right. Like, it just wasn't sitting well with me. Like, I'm not sure what animal I would pick for the Joker. Like, I'm really not sure. I don't know, maybe something sillier, I guess? Like, he is a clown. I think maybe something more clown-like, or maybe some kind of circus animal, like an elephant. I don't know. Like, I don't know, but the Snake wasn't really doing it for me. It just wasn't, I wasn't really feeling it. However, Hyena Harley was absolutely perfection. Just really, really good stuff. So, that's what I'm doing today. I know I'm already 4 minutes in, but yeah, so I did a much thicker line art on this one than I usually do. Usually when I do an underpainting, you notice my sketches are really, really thin, but I wanted to go for something very bold today, and I gave it a shot. It was a little bit wonky, difficult to work with, but I think it came out well enough, and it did mean I had to do a lot less lining later. But ultimately what I'm doing here, and I think I'm still on underpainting? Yeah, I'm still on underpainting. So what I'm doing is I do my sketch layer, and then I go do the flats where I just put down like the flat colors. And then what I'm working on now is I'm using a multiply layer, and I'm just adding in some shading. Like, I'm using sort of a light blue on a multiply, and now I'm going in and adding some highlights. And I'm gonna say it every video, but always make sure you add those shines on the sides, like this reflection of light. Like, it really makes things pop. Like, just, it's really incredible, like, what it does. Don't ever forget to do your highlights. They're really where it all comes together. So once I've added in all my highlights and all my, like, you know, multiplier layer, then I consider that a completed underpainting. So what I'm doing now is I'm overpainting, so I'm painting over the line art. So I've made a new layer. It's above my line art. You can see over in the corner, I don't have a lot of layers. I basically just have my flats, multiply, overlay, line art, and then above that is the one that I'm painting on. And so what I'm doing is I'm just like color grabbing. I have like a hotkey for the, you know, the color picker, and then a hotkey for the brush, and I'm switching back and forth between them very, very quickly. So I'll grab a color, make a line, grab a color, make a line, and I'm doing that where I'm just filling it in and kind of painting with those colors to rough out the shapes, and, you know, just sort of smooth everything out, make everything look nice. So like I'm making that nose a little more symmetrical, a little more defined, removing any sort of like sketch lines that are sort of left wherever they were, thinning out any parts of the line art that I think are a bit too thick, defining the highlight for sure, get everything nice and smooth. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing now. You can see I'm fixing all of my lines and making sure all the highlights are nice and thin and not too thick. But yeah, people keep asking me to do a like a shading tutorial, and I really don't know how I would do that other than basically this. Like, here's the speed paint, you can see what I'm doing, I just draw it. Like, I really don't have there's really no trick. I'm just using the default brush and I'm just drawing. Like, that's it. I'm just grabbing a color and putting down a line. There is no trick to it. This is the most bare bones form of art I guess I could physically do. You'll also notice here that this is the right side of her hat, and it is white on the part there, and I don't notice this until after I'd finished recording. I turned it back on and fixed it, but you're gonna have to continue watching this for the next couple of minutes, because that's going to be there, because I don't realize that I've goofed up hard. But I do realize before I call it done, so don't worry too much. I'm doing a little cross-hatching here and there. You can see I much prefer when I'm working on the parts with fur, because I can give it a more consistently defined texture. Like, I know what to make fur look like. Fur's easy, you know? You just line, 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 line. When I'm going with things that are like the cloth, where it should be a lot smoother or something, I'm less confident about the way I'm doing the texture, so the texture is just less in general. And I know that that's like a personal failing, but you'll see it a lot in my art, that like the fur will be really well defined, and then something else will be a lot less defined. It'll just be a little bit more confused looking, I suppose. I'm also kind of struggling with her lip here a little bit. You can see that I'm kind of like getting that shape in. I liked it better before I added that little kind of wrinkly bit that dogs get around that part of their jaw, but whenever I'm overpainting, there's no turning back. I never erase anything. I just go over it again. I guess I really don't. Well, I'll hit Control Z a lot. Like, I don't like that line and get rid of it, but I pretty much never erase anything. Like, I just draw over it. Like, that eye I drew over. I didn't erase it, you know? So that's, I guess that's what I do. But I also don't really think about it too much. I just sort of draw. But, also, I know I say and like a lot in these. I'm really sorry. Like I said, they're completely unscripted. I'm like watching my recording back as I record, and I'm very bad at speaking, which is why I script pretty much everything I do, because I'm an absolute nightmare when I have to just talk. Like, just talk? Like, oh god, I don't know. Oh god, what? I don't know. I'm not like a person. Leave me alone. Yeah, so going in and adding a couple of highlights here and there, and then I do, then I can see I cut the recording and then I turned it back on and I fixed that real quick. But yeah, there you go. There she is. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.